Welcome to the perpetual show. Where the loaves go, we've got flow. Oh yeah. Driving through the fields of green, oh so bright. With the loaf by your side, everything feels right. Loafing through the fields, feeling so alive. In our boxy Russian van, we're taking our stride. Past the fallen soldiers, a bittersweet sight. But we're cruising on this road tonight. Bouncing to the rhythm, calypso in our soul. The loaf's engine purring as our story unfolds. We're singing and we're dancing, the sun shining above. The loaf takes us places where we find love. Loafing through the fields, feeling so alive. In our boxy Russian van, we're taking our stride. Past the fallen soldiers, a bittersweet sight. But we're cruising on this road tonight. Bouncing to the rhythm, calypso in our soul. The love's engine purring as our story unfolds. We're singing and we're dancing, the sun shining above. The loaf takes us places where we find love.
Hello, I'm late. Oh gosh. Okay. Hi. I hope you enjoyed the loaf song. Uh, yeah. I, uh, oh, there's some things I forgot to do. I should go here. Okay. Okay. I figured it out. I even posted the map update. It's only a partial update because we haven't finished today yet. But it's an update. Okay, so uh so I don't know what to do. Where am I gonna start? I'm gonna look at the the couch, the JD Vance couch song. Yeah, that's a funny thing. Yep. Harris has reached the official nomination. It's true. Okay, so and yeah, and there was a loaf song, and there were prisoner exchanges. The prisoner exchange is interesting, you know. Yeah, the prisoner exchange is interesting. I've heard some people call the prisoner exchange. I'm not sure if this is accurate or not, but I've heard some people call the prisoner exchange a way of Putin accepting that the end of the war is coming. I've heard some people say that. I don't know if I believe that or I agree, but I've heard people say it. So that's interesting. There was, of course, the the children who thought they were Argentinian, but turned out to be Russian. What a terrible day! Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine waking up one day and learning you're Russian? But you'll learn. They'll tell you like normally, right? They're like, oh, we have to go to the airport right now. Let's go to the airport. You're like, okay. You go to the airport. You get into the plane, and you're like, oh, what's going on? Like, oh, by the way, you're Russian, and we're going to Moscow to meet Putin. Like, oh no, no, it's a nightmare. Oh yeah, it's sad. It's sad and funny. I can't. I don't know. I just laugh. I just laugh. I feel really bad for the kids, but it's a kind of a funny situation to me. So yeah, I guess I could play the video. I guess it's I'm not gonna play the audio. I'm not sure there really is audio, to be honest. Um, well, there is audio, but the audio doesn't matter. It's it's muffled and whatever. So, but here I can. Oh boy. Oh yeah. The audio is just an engine and a plane engine making loud noises. So here, let's make this a little bigger and make it even bigger. And this is the video. So these are the children who have just learned their Russian. Secret, secretly Russian. Their parents were spies, Russian spies, who were caught. I think it's Slovenia or whatever. So that's them. What a nightmare! Nightmare for them. So that's interesting. I think there's going to be more information that comes from this prisoner swap over time. I'm definitely not an expert on any of that. I don't. I try to stay away from the prisoner news of Russia because I just honestly don't care. But it was interesting nonetheless. I think there's going to be long-term political consequences. Oh, they look like they're about to cry, buddy. She is bawling. She is not impressed. The older one is crying, like straight up. The young one looks pretty scared, like terrified. And the boy is like, ah, I don't know. I think he's too young to understand. But yeah. Uh, and I know you can't really hear it, but Putin is speaking Spanish in the video. So, hey, Lord Flashheart giving 10 memberships. Yeah, they're crying because they have to live in Moscow. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's exactly right. Not only do they have to live in Russia, but they also have to leave all their friends, uh, and the life that they thought they knew. They thought they were Argentinian. That's not her mother. That's not her mother. That's her older sister. I think. I'm pretty sure. That's. I don't even know. Is that her mother? I thought he was. I think that's the older sister. To be honest, but I don't even know, dude. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. It is too young for the special operation. But anyways, there's going to be political fallout from this. There's already been political fallout in a kind of funny way in the United States, because Trump was saying that he was the only person in the world who could free some of these people from Russian custody, and now that they've been freed, it's like it's just a funny thing. Uh, but anyways, so that's that. As for news, there was another piece of news today that I found. Well, it's not really from today, but I'm just gonna think of it as being today because it's convenient for me to think of it that way. But there is this video here. Here I'll show you. We'll show you this one. This is oh wait. Oh no! Stop! 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 Don't do that. It's not that part of the video, please. I want to go back in time. Okay. So this here, you know it's fun when you have to lift from the legs to pick up a drone munition. Oh, pick up a drone, but you have to lift with your legs. Oh man, look how big it is. So it's a big boy. It's a big boy. So this is two TM62 anti-tank mines bolted together with a aerodynamic fin in the back, a stabilizer, and they're putting it on a vampire drone and dropping it on things. That's a big old bomb. So just to throw it out there, uh, each of these mines weighs 7.25 kilograms. So that is a lot of bomb. 7.25 kilograms each. So 14.5 kilograms of high explosive. Yeah, it's a double stacked mine, dude. Like a single stacked mine can obviously blow off the tracks. It can blow up a vehicle too if it's lucky. A single stacked mine can blow off your tracks. A double stacked mine will blow up a tank, like straight up blow it up. And yeah, that thing. The other day, Ukraine, they tried to drive a um a 300 kilogram bomb into this aggregate factory. I believe it was here, if I remember right. I think it was here. My memory might be wrong, but uh, they tried to drive a 300 kilogram bomb into the building, right? And it kind of got stuck, and I think it blew up over here instead of in the building. And I said, why drive a 300 kilogram bomb into the building when you can just drop 300 kilograms of bomb on top of it and blow it up from the top? Um, and just generally speaking, like why not just like use these drones to just drop just tons of high explosive? And you could think of it this way. You could think of it this way. You don't have to blow them up like when you drop the bombs. Like you could put like a whole bunch of bombs here, a whole bunch there, and there, and there, and there, and there, and there. You could put them all over and just have them be there, and then put them all up at once, blow up everything. Just a thought, kind of a way to replace the aircraft. Who needs airplanes when you have drones? Drones are better. And that brings me to the thumbnail for today. Today's thumbnail. You may have seen it. I assume you saw it when you clicked on it on the video. But this is the thumbnail today. It's not centered in the screen. Anyway, so uh, it's a vampire with a controller chasing a motorcycle and an ATV with vampire drones. Okay, somehow the AI knows what a vampire drone looks like because that's pretty close to be honest. But the reason that I made this the oh now it's centered. The reason I made this a thumbnail is because logistics. Logistics are getting interesting, and the Russians are getting upset. You could call it a Grim Reaper. I call it a vampire. So there. It is a vampire. It's a vampire. Look out. Calling him a Grim Reaper? What are you talking about? Look at this guy. Ah, he's a vampire. I think you're. Oh no, dude. Look at him. He's like a little ghoul over there. Look, I mean, he's just dressed up, man. He's just you're you're taking his costume a little bit too far. Anyways, so oh boy, logistics. Logistics are becoming an issue for Russia. Um, we see a tremendous number of vehicles destroyed along here. This road right here, uh, it's it's kind of a road. It's more of a railway, but it's used as a road. This railway has approximately an infinite number of loafs destroyed on it, approximately, give or take. Okay, and the Russian infantry are moving ever more this way, right? So, how do you get supplies from over here to over here? Um, let's just think about it for a moment. One option is to take these roads through these towns and try to get there that way. That is not going to work. These roads are garbage. They're mostly destroyed, and they're in just as much fire control as everything else. You could take this main artery here that you're using as a main artery, but it's getting absolutely shellacked. You could try cutting north and going this way, which the Russians try pretty often, and that's also getting just absolutely demolished. You could try running this parallel track, which they try, and that gets demolished too. So every path here is getting really damaged, really badly, by drones mostly, but also other things. Um, So as these infantry move forward with massive casualties, but as they move forward, they're extending this supply line ever further. So what is the distance now? It's oops. I keep forgetting it doesn't work like that. Here, I'll make the line a little bit more let's see. So it's 5 kilometers like that. And now it's like 11, right? 11 and then like 17 and then I don't know, let's just call it another 8. So that's like 25 or yeah, 25 kilometers, give or take, that you have to move supplies. 25 kilometers. The Russians are saying that they can't get closer than 10. So so 10 would be here, whatever. So 10 would be like that. You can't. They're saying that they can't get vehicles closer than 10 kilometers, and I don't think this is even it. I think it's 10 from like anywhere on the front. So I think it's actually more like this. They probably can't get vehicles further than that. And that seems about right, honestly. Ultra probably the furthest they can get supplies is that town. So getting these last 10, 15, 25 kilometers is becoming an increasing issue. And you see Ukraine is moving more drones here. They brought Madhyar here, where he is operating along this artery to cut off supplies even further. Uh, they have a lot of other drone groups. What's the other one called? Muramasa. They're here doing just tremendous damage. They're destroying, like, I swear, like 10, 15 vehicles a day. Easy. Easy money. Easy. 10, 15 a day. And I'm sure Madhyar is probably doing roughly the same. And then there's other groups as well. And these groups are operating together. There are videos from Madhyar where like there will be two trucks driving and like the Muramasa drone will hit the first truck and then like 1, 2, 5 seconds later Madhyar will hit the second truck. So it just goes boom boom. Both trucks gone. Okay. And you also see the same sort of thing with smaller vehicles, which are probably being used for medevacs, like desert crosses and ATVs, where you have like, like four of them going and it goes boom, one blows up, like a few seconds later, boom, 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 and just take them all out. And also they seem to be trying to push the vehicles like into a clump to cut down the available paths. So there are multiple routes that these vehicles take. There's one that goes straight along the rail. There's another one that runs like parallel here. And also there's one that runs like parallel over here. So they're trying to move, but it's really difficult. Like it's non-trivial to get your supplies. And you're hearing the Russian soldiers, they're complaining about um, most importantly, a lack of water, then also a lack of food, and also um, lack of medevacs, lack of medical supplies, and lacks of ammo. So those are the sorts of things that you're hearing from these guys doing the pushing up front, who are rather upset that they don't have food and water. And the people in the back are like, we're trying, but they keep hitting us with drones. So this is all a thing. This is a thing that's going on. And I think this problem, this logistics problem, for which there really is no solution, I guess maybe as they push ever westward in this kind of this area here, it is it's more middle southern area. If they continue pushing westward there, maybe they can create enough of a buffer to start using these kind of open fields and stuff, which I'm sure they're probably using already. But even that, the drones, they easily have a range of 20 kilometers easy. So 20 kilometers, Ukraine is, they're going to be in range of these places for a long time. Like you have to push Ukraine back really far, and Russia is not going to do that anytime soon. And in order to do that, you're going to have to use all these supplies that you're having trouble delivering. So for that reason, and also issues that we hear from manpower shortages, um, I suspect we're going to see slower and slower gains in this front. Over the past few days, the Russians have moved pretty rapidly. So this is the 18th, and they've been moving kind of steadily and rapidly. But I kind of suspect they might get bogged down soon. I don't know where they'll get bogged down, but I suspect they will. I think they're going to hit a limit where these logistics problems and their manpower problems are going to combine to be such a big issue that they can't advance any further. Yeah. One interesting thing is that a Bradley was abandoned. Well, it was hit by an ATGM and then abandoned, maybe destroyed. I'm not really sure if it's destroyed or not, but it happened right here, which is where the Russians recently advanced. Ukraine was obviously trying to do some sort of counterattack, and it failed. We've heard a lot of stories recently about Ukraine losing Bradleys in pretty large numbers. I don't know what large numbers means. A large number could be five. I don't know what they mean by a large number, but they're saying that they're losing Bradleys and that they need more, probably. And also, they've been losing other vehicles. I've heard that over the past like 2 or 3 days, Ukraine has lost a large number of armored vehicles in this general area, and they said a lot of them were Bradleys. I don't have numbers. They just say a lot. So that's all. This is all an issue. It's all an issue. Um, so at the same time, we have a, um, a Russian advance near Turretsk, and I read a description of the situation in Turretsk earlier this morning, where he basically said that the Russians have gotten within 50 meters of the territorial border of Toretsk, like the actual city, within 50 meters of the city, but that nobody has entered the city at all. Not even recon, no DRGs. He apparently he is claiming that nobody has entered the actual city, but they're within 50 meters of it. So yeah, that's an issue. So you can see I have not totally updated the map here. I was updating this when I realized what time it was, and I'm gonna extend the yellow area further out. I mean, the description that I read this morning, it basically said that the yellow should extend to like here. I mean, what is the territorial boundary of this place? Let's see. Let's see. Let's go to Google Map. Well, nah. Nah. I'm gonna go to OpenStreetMap. And I'm gonna go to Tourette's. And once I find it, I'll show it on the screen so you see it. Okay, so this is the border of the city. This is the border. Okay, so so that actually kind of makes sense that they'd be within 50 meters of that, doesn't it? Because that would mean that they have guys in this forest here and roughly there. And then if we go back to the map, what? Where is this? Where's this on that map? Let me plug these coordinates into that and see how they look, to be honest. I'm kind of curious now. Let's see. Oh boy. Yeah. That's it, don't you think? Like, I'm gonna try it again. Now that resume didn't work. Here. Yeah. That's within 50 meters, isn't it? I guess he's right. I guess he's right. They are within 50 meters. Easy. We have them geolocated even closer than that, don't we? Hmm. Interesting. I guess he wasn't lying. Guess he wasn't lying, was he? Okay, so that's interesting. Wasn't expecting it to be like that close, to be honest. So you heard it here first, folks. Okay. What's another story we should talk about? Um, there was a air-to-air combat in the middle of Klashivka, which was fun. Would you like to see it? Would you like to see the air-to-air combat? Here, I'll show you. Well, I'll show you once the air-to-air combat starts. I can't remember what's in this clip. Okay. I don't want to show that. Let's go to the air-to-air combat. Okay. Here's the air-to-air combat. Very exciting stuff. A FPV drone versus a vampire drone. You can see it. Look at that. Actually, this might be a, what's it called? A Kajan. I think it's a Kajan, actually, not a vampire drone, but that's pretty cool. Anyways, there's a bit more information to talk about in Ivano-Darivka. In Ivano-Darivka, the the Russians have recently pushed multiple DRGs into the town of Ivano-Darivka, and I've talked about that before. I've made videos about it. They pushed them up here somehow. I'm pretty sure Ukraine still controls this tree line. I'm I'm not sure how they're getting there. Maybe they're going through these fields, or maybe that field, or maybe through this field. I don't know. We know that Ukraine still controls Spirna. I'm almost certain they control this tree line here. Ukraine does actually control Ivano-Derivka, and we also know that they control this trench system here. You can pretty easily see the trench on the map. If I disable some colors, you can see this trench here. All this beautiful trench. So that is controlled by the Ukrainians, and we know that from this geolocated footage from yesterday. So that's interesting. Um, yep, and we know that Russia is bombing these tree lines. We know that those are still in control, and these tree lines, as we said last time, are super important because Ivano-Derivka is not actually what's important. It's this hill here, this ridge, and these tree lines are on the top of that ridge and are extremely, extremely, extremely important. This area, just north of these tree lines, I'm pretty certain is a very dense minefield. Nobody goes there. Nobody. We have some videos where Ukrainians were trying to run away from being attacked, and nobody went in this field. They're like, there's like one guy who ran in there, and he was like, and ran back out. Like he ran out of the tree line. He ran out of the field into artillery fire because he was so scared of the field. That's the field is definitely a minefield. Okay, so um, so yeah, the Ivano Derivka has had people in it, but I'm pretty sure it's still in Ukrainian control. Similarly, there was a large attack in this town. I don't even remember. I don't know what the name of this town is. I don't think that's the name of this town. I think that is it. This is a Prisna, whatever. Um, anyway, there's a large MRL shelling on this town, accompanied by assaults. I could not geolocate the assault though, and it was really frustrating to me. I think the assault was over here. I think it was over here coming from this direction. So I think it was here, like here, and the Russians kind of attacked. Uh, I think they attacked here, but I wasn't certain about the geolocation, or maybe it was here. Yeah, I think yeah, it was here because there are three of these zigzaggy tree lines, and this is the only place that had those three zigzaggy tree lines where the Russians were shelling what would be this tree line and this one with BMPs, and then they like ran up and dismounted some infantry, but I wasn't 100% sure if that was the right tree line. So I never mapped it. I spent like an hour and a half trying to find it, and I couldn't find it. It's pretty frustrating. But generally speaking, this area is under increasing pressure. We know that Russia has captured at least this trench system. There's a trench system right here. We know that they captured it. They may have pushed all the way down this tree line. I'm not entirely sure. Um, and their goal is to capture these towns. And I suspect they're going to have increasing pressure to push into these towns in the near future. They really want to capture Siversk. They really, really want to. And they can't figure out how. They've tried to go through Bilohorivka, hasn't worked. They tried going through Spirna, hasn't worked. They tried going through Verkhnamo-Kamienska, and that hasn't worked. They've been moving towards Ivano-Derivka and Vyimka, and that has been this is working. Like this southern attack is slowly working, but it's so slow. Like at the pace they're going, it's going to take them like 2 more years to get to Sibersk. So now they're trying a different way. They captured Rostolivka, and now they're trying to move on up. Um, Chasiv Yar. Chasiv Yar is not their goal. Chasiv Yar is not the goal of Russia. No, Chasiv Yar is not their goal. I think you could more accurately say Konstantinivka is their goal. The way that I describe this, I describe everything that's happening here, everything that's going on over here, to the west of Avdiivka, going towards Pokrovsk. I call this, I call everything going on in New York. I call everything going on near Toretsk. I call all of this, to me, the way I describe it, is the Battle of Konstantinivka. That's how I describe it. And in my mind, the Battle of Konstantinivka is the most important battle of this war. Um, it's on par with the Battle of Kiev in importance. It's on par with the Battle of Popasna in importance. I think, and also there was the Battle of Volnovacha, which was also, I think, equally important. I think these are really the three main battles, or the four main battles, are Volnovacha, which happened really early in the invasion. There was Popasna, which also happened pretty early in the invasion. Of course, there's the Battle of Kiev that happened at the beginning of that's what the invasion really was, the Battle of Kiev. And now I think this is maybe the final major battle, the way I describe it, as the Battle of Konstantinivka. Um, if if Russia wins this battle and captures Konstantinivka, then I think we will start the Battle of Sloviansk. But that's another story. So, but yeah, the Battle of Konstantinivka, all of these actions, everything going on here, is to capture that city. I don't consider Mariupol to be a major battle of this war. Obviously, not to that scale, not to the scale. I think Mariupol, like, it's important. It's important. I think it's like on the scale of like Bakhmut in importance, but it's not on the scale of like Kyiv and Popasna. Um, it's just not like the fall of Popasna. Like Popasna falling led to. Let's just think about it. Like Popasna fell, led to the fall of Rybishna, which then led to the fall of Severodonetsk, which led to the fall of Lysychansk, and that led to the fall of um, the Lysychansk oil refinery, and that led to the fall of Bakhmut. Well, first Soledar and then Bakhmut, right? So all of these things are connected. If Popasna didn't fall, then Bakhmut would not have fallen, and Severodonetsk wouldn't have fallen. Rybishna was very defendable. The reason Rybishna fell is because Popasna was going so badly that they had to emergency withdraw all their troops out of Rybishna and send them to Popasna. So those troops did not get to Popasna in time. Popasna was lost basically before they got there. So they did not stabilize Popasna. Nothing could have stabilized Popasna. Popasna was it was just wrecked. Like we'll never see a battle like Popasna in this war ever again. Because Russia used all of its power to level Popasna. All of their air power was used there like they've never used it before. Their artillery was just out of control. It was just Popasna was turned to dust. Okay. Once Popasna fell, Russia very rapidly moved all around and in basically every direction. which caused huge threats to the line in all sorts of different places, including Zolota, which became a key anchor to everything. But Severodonetsk, once Ukraine basically abandoned Rybizhna in order to defend Popasna, so Rybizhna very rapidly fell afterwards, and that led to the fall of Severodonetsk. And it was just all. You can't overlook the importance of Popasna. Popasna was a a battle that changed the way the war would be fought for the rest of the war. Um, Similarly, um, Volnovakha was another absolutely enormously important battle that Ukraine also lost, and that changed the way everything was fought. Okay, so if Ukraine had won the Battle of Volnovakha, then this whole southern front would be a radically different situation. Like Ukraine might control like this whole sector of Zaporizhia right now if they had won that battle, but they lost it, so that changed everything basically. So there were these huge battles, and then there's also the Battle of Kyiv, where the victory in Kyiv and forcing Russia to withdraw everything out of northern Kyiv and out of Chernihiv and Sumy, that was a hugely important battle. So I think what's going on in Konstantinivka, in my mind, is on par with all those other events. So, so yeah, I do not think Chasiv Yar is their goal. No, Chasiv Yar is not their goal. Konstantinivka is their goal. Chasiv Yar is just a way to get to Konstantinivka. Same with Toretsk. Toretsk is not their goal. Their goal is Konstantinivka. Toretsk is just in the way. Similarly, their goal is not New York, it's Konstantinivka. New York is just in the way. Okay, and these pushes to the west towards Pokrovsk. Pokrovsk is important on its own right, but what is Pokrovsk? It's the main road to Konstantinivka. Okay, it's not the only road to Konstantinivka, but it's the main road. It's okay, whatever. You know what I mean. It's not really the main road anymore because it's under threat, etc. But it's a road to Konstantinivka. Okay, they want to isolate Konstantinivka. They want to surround it, and they want to take it. They want to take it. They want to attack from the west. They want to attack from the south. They want to attack to the east. They want to attack from the north. They want Konstantinivka. Are you making fun of me not being able to pronounce stuff? Yeah. Anyway, what went on in Mariupol, um, it's a completely different thing. It's not comparable. I don't even see the point in comparing them. They're completely incomparable with that. All right. Yeah. That is that's that. What else is there to talk about? Um there have been some mildly interesting things lately. Um the other day we had some video of Ukraine attacking Russian positions northwest of Rabatina. So um, this tree line has a bunch of fortified positions in it. You could call them bunkers, or dugouts, whatever word you'd like. I call it a dugout, but they're fortified positions. Like they're built up. They're above ground piles of dirt. They're like giant piles of dirt where people are on the inside. But Ukraine was attacking them with drones. They were also attacking infantry who were trying to move north. So um, these fortified positions are in this red controlled area, and the infantry are in the yellow area. Similarly, this was another fortified position that they hit with some drones. So that's mildly interesting. There's also this footage of Russia attacking uh, Ukrainian dugouts right there, which they've been attacking for a few days now. Um, we also had video. Wait, what? I'm so confused. Oh, it was up here. Sorry. Uh, we had these videos of Russians attacking Ukrainians on in these dugouts up here, and I decided, maybe stupidly, I don't know, maybe I'm a dumbo, but I decided to mark this as a blue area as a result of these attacks. But well, that's there. Well, yeah, that's I guess that's even more evidence because this is a Ukrainian drone, I think. Let me check. Yeah. So this is a Ukrainian drone destroying a Russian drone. The Russian drone was bombing a Ukrainian position. So that is, I guess that's further evidence that Ukraine does actually control that. So, so yeah, I decided to mark that all as Ukrainian controlled there. So that's mildly interesting. Another mild interest is that the area of Malinivka has been getting hit ever harder recently. I'm not sure if this means anything. They just kind of go through phases where they feel like leveling this town, but it's been getting hit pretty hard recently. Um, yep, we had this evidence of Russia advancing here. This was a while ago though. This was like 4 days ago. But Russia advanced to the east of Yerozhina. Not terribly interesting. Yesterday we had Ukraine. Russia dropped a flag. They used the drone to drop a flag on a destroyed pickup truck, and then they said "hurrah!" And now today is everybody saying "hurrah!" Our flag on top of a pickup truck means we captured the highway. Not quite. Not quite. Not quite. And if you're asking why doesn't DJI ban their drones from being used in this war? It's probably because DJI doesn't want to lose customers, don't you think? Um, yeah. Also, during the course of the week, Russia pretty much captured the city part of the urban part of Krasnoyarivka, although they still haven't captured the kind of residential area to the north, although they probably will in the near future. And I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. That's all I really have to say. There's ongoing battles in the middle of Vovchansk, and all the people saying that Russia controls Vovchansk are dummies. They're dummies. They don't. They don't. They just don't. I'm sorry. Ukraine has some video attacking Russians in the middle of Vovchansk. You'll notice that, like, across the street, Russia is attacking Ukrainian infantry, okay? You'll also notice that if you kind of go back like a day, Russia was shelling those same places, okay? These This whole area is a jumbled mess. It's a jumbled up mess. Nobody controls it. It's nonsense when people say Russia controls the middle of the city. They don't. They just don't. So that's kind of that. Oh, and we had this Russia apparently captured this pretty critically important. Uh, uh, I would say it was critically important um, trench system here. I was really disappointed to see that they captured that, but what can you do? It doesn't actually change the situation that much. That's why I kind of laugh at calling it critically important, because it's not actually critically important, but it was very important to the defense of the area. But even having lost it hasn't hurt the defense. So I guess it wasn't actually that defense. It was just, so that's kind of all the news I got. It's like all the news. I don't know what else to say. There was a terrible story, an absolutely awful story that happened in um where was that? Uh, I can't remember what town it was. Is it here? No. All right, I can't remember what town it was. I think it was Verliki Berluk. Is that the name of the town? Verliki Berluk. Where is that town? Veliki. Um, just give me the coordinates, please. Okay, so it was here. What day was that? Yeah. Okay. Um, hmm, did we not map that story? Okay, whatever. Basically, what happened in this town? Yeah, yeah, is in Kharkiv. What happened in this town? Southeast of. Do you remember, Brendan? Do you remember what day it was? Was it the 31st? Um. Anyways, what happened in this town is Russia fired MRL into the town. The MRL destroyed a large number of houses, and they um the firefighters were called to the scene. One of the firefighters realized that his house had been destroyed, and um he went into the house and he found his wife had been killed and their son had been critically wounded, their 10-year-old son. And um and it's just a heartbreaking event. Yeah. So this is the image of him with his wife, who was 37 years old. Their son is 10 years old, and he was critically wounded. I believe he was severely burned by the fire. Um, yeah. So that was a pretty terrible event. And the video of the firefighter sitting with his wife is really sad. And the description the description of the event, which came from the emergency services of Ukraine, was basically the fire, like the state firefighting department, basically. It's like fire and rescue. They said that um, every firefighter's or every emergency worker's worst nightmare is being called to their own house, and that's what that guy had. So yeah, that was probably the worst story of the week. I know, Brendan. Do you have anything else that you'd like? Any other Any stories that stood out to you, Brendan?
Hi, Andrew.
Hi.
Did you tell the story about the four women who walked and walked?
The four women.
Yeah,
Um,
you posted it
yeah,
on
yeah,
Twitter
yeah.
3 days
So
ago.
that was
I think that was kind of interesting and horrible.
I think that was the same day, honestly. Yes. I can't remember what day it was. But it was that was in Krasnohorivka.
Yes.
So these these people in Krasnohorivka, they decided that it was time to go. They're like Krasnohorivka, not a safe place anymore. This was just like a few days ago, right? Just a few days ago, they decided now's the time to leave. They were being shot at by Russians from every angle, and they didn't know how to leave the city because they were surrounded. Um, so they just walked in the direction that their intuition brought them, and they couldn't use cell phones because I believe the area is jammed, so you can't use a phone. So they were just kind of winging it. I imagine they probably lived in roughly this part of the city. So they kind of walked aimlessly. They said that they were getting shot at the whole time. They said that there were drones looking at them as they were going. They said that one drone flew up to them, looked at them, and then flew into a house and exploded. But they eventually got out of the urban area. They got to a point where they could make a phone call, and they called for um, the White Angels. The White Angels then went to them and picked them up and evacuated them. And after they were evacuated, they were brought to like a safe house. I think it's for like psychological reasons to like keep them in a safe house. So you can keep your eye on them and see what goes on because you don't want them like escaping and just kind of disappearing without observation. So they brought them to that safe house and they were trading them and they were just telling their stories of living in this city. They said that there was um, one of the women that they knew was sleeping in her bed one night, which is a terrible idea. You should not sleep in your bed. You should sleep in your basement. But she was sleeping in her bed, and her house was hit by a direct hit from artillery, which landed on her bed, and she was blasted across the street. And they said like they're talking about how like whenever they were walking around, they would see like pieces of her. Um, they said that one of the young men that they knew was wounded, and his mother was trying to treat his wounds and get him evacuated. But he was also hit by artillery. Um, and yeah, they were talking about how the city is filled with just body parts. So that whole thing, that whole story is just depressing. Yeah. Okay. So people want to know the difference between an MRL and an MLRS. Yeah, they're not the same thing. An MRL is not an MLRS. An MLRS is like a HIMARS. This MLRS, like a what's it called? The M270, the Mars. those are MLRS. They are they shoot gimblers. And it's like I believe it's the term MLRS is like a name that's owned by the company that makes those vehicles. So it's like the difference between like a Kleenex and tissue paper. You know, like the Kleenex is a company. It's like the company's name, right? It's the name of their product. It's the name of their company is Kleenex, and a tissue paper is like what it is. That's like a description of the thing, right? So that's kind of like the difference between MLRS and MRL. Um, MLRS is much superior to MRL. So like everything Russia has is MRL. The Tornado is MRL. The Grad, the Uragan, those are all MRL systems. Russia does not have MLRS. So yeah, Brendan, which mine were you talking about? Because I can remember multiple mines. The 25th. Yeah, I'm not sure. Is this the mine that you're talking about? Yeah. Anyway, I'm not sure which story Brendan's talking about, but yeah, there's just a lot of terrible news. Just a lot of terrible news. It's really sad. And I can't wait for the war to be over. One thing of note is um Ukraine struck Sevastopol. There's a rumor that they hit the navy, but I don't know if that rumor is true. Have you seen anything more on that, Ireland?
Nope.
On navy, yeah. But all
Uh,
I saw was a cryptic riddle, and it said, you shot down our attackums. Did you shoot it down into your ships?" That's what he said. Yeah, there's been some serious UXO lately. I there's been several stories of UXO, and just as an aside, it amuses me when the our we have like an AI bot that classifies events, uh, and it just amuses me the way it classifies as UXO. But you have to talk about the things that happen in the war too. Like I think it's important to know that these events are going on. Could Ukraine take back Crimea? Um, I don't think by force, but I think they can.
Maybe we should give a shout out to the people that are doing the bot.
Yeah.
They're
We
doing
have
some.
Stanza. She's doing a lot with the bot. There's Joseph. Gashbo, of course. Who else? Um,
That's it.
yeah, yeah. I was making sure I'm
But
not forgetting someone.
they're really good.
Yeah,
It's cool. Maybe we'll have a game if we're lucky.
maybe. So yeah,
some kind of game.
we have a team of people. It's not just me anymore. It used to be just me. It was very lonely. It was a lot of work. But now we have a team, and it's nice because it spreads the workload out. And there's other people in the team. There's Mattis, there's Ellie, and others, and they help when they can, and it's nice. It's nice when they help. We could use all the help we can get. Yeah, we have some new people too who just joined like this week, which is great. Yeah, and we also have like Krusty and yeah, we have a whole team. And the team is growing, which is nice. And we do still need like geolocators. So if you're a geolocator, we don't like I don't want to train a geolocator. Like I kind of just want like a pre-made geolocator. I know they're
I know
out
what
there.
you want. You want another geek.
Yeah, if we could use another gig. I want someone like there are a few things like there are a few things every day or a few different types of geolocator. Okay, there's one type of geolocator who is a completionist. So like if you give them a video, they will complete that video in excruciating detail. And that's a great thing. So like if there's like a tank assault and there's like 20, 30 vehicles driving around, random explosions, artillery shelling, drone attacks, like there's so many events going on all at once. It's really nice to give that sort of completionist person that video and say, you only do one video a day and this is your video. Like go spend an hour doing this video, right? And that's so helpful to us that to just offload that sort of thing and just say, here, you handle it. So that's like one type of geolocator. Another type of geolocator is someone who specializes in one thing. Like um like you can specialize in the city. Or not in a city, but in cities. Like you're really good at like finding a building in a city. Or you're really good at finding like a bridge or finding a house in a town. Like that's like a skill that some people are just really good at that one thing. There's other people who are really good at finding like tree lines. That's nice. So you could say like, here's like a little piece of a forest. Can you tell me which forest it is? And they're just like, oh, it's this forest. So like stuff like that's really useful. And then there's the other type of person who is really good at like first person perspectives. Like if like a soldier walking around, they're good at finding where they are using their first person perspectives. Um, and that's really useful. So if you have a specialty, anything like that, like we have so many videos. We have so many. Uh, we just want like any type of geolocator. You don't have to be like a generalist. Like Gick is really good at tree lines. That's like his thing. Like he really loves tree lines. Um, he's good at other stuff too, but that's I think he enjoys the tree lines the most.
You like to look for artillery craters in fields, right?
I don't know.
Is that your favorite?
I guess. I mean, I've become a specialist kind of like I'm my specialty is like right here. Um, I'm really good at locating like anything that like happens like right here. And that's like another type of specialty. Like you can just learn one place really well. And that I just really like there's like a few channels that post videos that all happen like right here. And I really like geolocating them. I've gotten pretty good at geolocating them. So I also really I enjoy it a lot doing crinky. Like I became kind of a crinky specialist. And I can do some of these Kherson towns. Not all of them, but some of them I'm pretty good at locating stuff. So I tend to specialize in just like little areas. So and that sort of geolocator we're good with too. Like there's one geolocator that I know of who only geolocates stuff in Kherson, and he's just become like a complete expert at locating everything in Kherson. And if he ever wants to work with us, that'd be great. But but yeah, any sort of geolocator would be great. Anytime you bring up geolocation, someone has to say the word artificial intelligence. No, no. Okay, so that's that. Um, so I think that's the stream. I hope you enjoyed it. AI help is very limited. There are some tools that might come out in the near future. Like I've heard that Google Map is considering adding a search for feature. And some examples that they've given me because I'm in their like testing thing for using Google Maps. If you use Google Maps long enough, they like invite you to weird things. But um, so anyway, so they were talking about adding a feature that can find like pools in a town. So it's like the way they described it is that you'll be able to like go to a town and draw a box and tell it to search for pools in that box, and it will highlight every swimming pool in the box. They also said that you could do it to find like electrical poles or street lamps or benches. So those are like some of the examples they're talking about. Other examples were like you know how like in a city corner can be like a square corner or a curved corner. You'll be able to search for squared and curved corners. And also, if it's a curved corner, if it has a cutout or not for like wheelchairs. So that sort of search would be pretty cool. Um, another search, another thing was solar panels. That would be pretty cool too. Like it was like, oh, this ruined house has a solar panel in the video. I wonder where this ruined house of a solar panel is. It'd be cool to just go to the town and type in solar panel and it'll say, oh, here are the three houses with solar panels.
Is there a fundraiser going on, Amber?
Is there a fundraiser going on? I don't know. Is there a fundraiser? Oh no, forgot. I think Constantine was doing a fundraiser and then it ended. Are you doing a fundraiser? Is there a fundraiser I should know about?
I have a good one. I'll send it in the chat right now.
Okay.
It's one it's one from the Wild Hornets, and they have a pretty cool prize you can win as well.
Okay.
So you can win a signed flag from the 5th Assault Brigade. They're raising money for drones, of course.
Okay. So let's switch to the other view. So here's your fundraiser. Wild Hornets. And I just like to remind you that Wild Hornets is a not-for-profit, I believe. Are they a not-for-profit or a non-profit? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
It's
They're
a
like a
non-profit.
what's that?
It's a non-profit, yeah.
It's a non-profit that they manufacture drones and they give the drones to people who need them, like to units. Um, so I mean, there's
Yeah, they
two ways. There's two ways to like sell drones, right? You can sell the drone to the unit, so the unit has to raise the money and then buy the drone, or you can raise the money, build the drone, and give the drone to people. So like those are like your two choices. They're opting for the raise money to build drones option, which I think is smarter personally.
they're doing like a kind of a mix too. They're generally always raising money, right? You can always donate to them, and then they have these special fundraisers that some people are doing for them, not promoted by them directly, where they are fundraising for a specific unit, like this case here. So they also have their own funds, so that if a unit really needs something that they are collaborating with, then they do just give away drones as well, without there being a fundraiser for a specific unit.
Yeah,
But yeah, I like their model also because they're doing a lot of research, which require funds, of course.
yeah. These guys are they're pretty great. And they have really good drones. They're really good. And the thing that I respect about them is that they don't like make their drones too good. They make them just good enough to get the job done and not more than that, which is efficient. You get bigger bang for your buck, you know? Like they're not putting overkill accessories to their drones. Like they're not putting cameras that cost way too much money, and they're not going crazy. They're just their job is to make a drone. Like they're
Yeah,
making a weapon. They're not, it's not a consumer product. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles. It's a drone. It's like here, it does the job and is pretty good at it. Their innovations that they do are to make it better at being a drone, not like, oh, we have a $900 camera to glue on top now. It's like they're more like, how can we make the battery life better, or how can we go faster, have better range?
yeah. I mean, they do have really good motors, speed controllers, and the control board. And then you can put on whatever camera you want. But yeah, the normal cameras that they put on are the cheapest cameras that gets the job done, basically. And I don't know if you've seen lately that they have a lot of very cheap night vision cameras, but then they attach like very cheap IR flashlights to the drone, and they turn those on like in the 20 seconds before they dive into a vehicle or something,
Yeah,
which is just so much cheaper than having a thermal camera on an FPV drone.
yeah. The thermal cameras. The thermal cameras do look nicer and make prettier videos.
Yeah, their videos may not look fantastic, but the result is really good anyways. That's
Yeah,
yeah. But I do like that now they're publishing a lot of the videos with the Queen Hornet operating as a, a like a bomber,
yeah,
dive bomber.
yeah. It does a dive bomb. Yeah,
There's a problem for them with like showing how it actually functions because they have two video channels, and when it's being used for dropping, there is like a second video channel with a camera pointing directly down, and I don't know what they do. I'm not sure if they don't record that video or because it looks like the drone is just flying and then looking at something and then flying away, but it's actually dropping it like very precisely. So yeah,
they carry
they're
those.
really
Those
cool.
drones are big too.
Yeah, they're quite big. To be
They
an FPV drone, it's very big,
not as big as a vampire drone though.
but not as big as the Have you seen it, Andrew? The new one that the Russians shot down?
Yeah, that drone is it's so big. I feel like you could like carry around a donkey with that drone.
It's so. Let's be honest. It's kind of stupid, isn't it?
Well, there's a reason it got shot down.
Yeah. You should show the drone.
I don't have it like immediately on hand. I'd have to like search for it.
I'll put it here. There.
There it is. Oh boy. Yes. I feel like you could like strap a donkey to it and fly it around. Just imagine like a vampire drone, which is like I don't know, what would you say, half the size of that? A vampire drone can carry I don't know, 30 kilograms or something?
Uh,
25 kilograms?
25, I think, more. Yeah.
This is like twice as big. Oh,
I don't know if that means it can carry twice the weight, but I wouldn't be surprised if it can, actually. 50 kilos, yeah, maybe.
yeah. Oh, yeah. The propellers are huge. They're so big.
But yeah, what they say about this drone is that it was carrying some sort of new munition that we haven't seen before, and the munition was posted in a different post, but they didn't show the whole drone
Yeah,
a couple of days ago.
You can see the munition right there.
Yeah, but they say that it's laser guided, or at least has some optical guidance system on it, which I find very interesting. But I don't understand why they used a quadcopter to deploy that.
It's weird to me.
Warhead.
It's weird that you would drop a guided munition from a drone while also being low enough in the sky that you can get shot down. Like, wouldn't you want to drop these from like as high as you could possibly get?
Yeah.
I've been wondering about this all day. These munitions, they look fancy, right? They look super fancy. They have like fanciness on them. They have fins. They have this little eyeball thing. I've been wondering, does all that fancy stuff like do anything? Like, could these be weapons that were fancy but don't work? Like their fanciness doesn't function, and they're just repurposing these otherwise useless things as bombs.
That would be disappointing in a way, but I don't think so, though.
Like, could it be like a guided artillery shell that doesn't work, and they're like, well, we tried. Let's just drop them on somebody. Anyways, that was an interesting thing today. Anyways, I think I'm gonna end the stream because I have to get back to mapping. So yeah, thanks for everybody who came and listened, and you can press the like button or share with people if you think they would find it interesting, or share clips. I don't care. Anyway, thanks for coming, Ireland, and goodbye.